Then on Sports Central, we go over an NFL game preview and prediction on the NFC Championship matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Detroit Lions. Two teams that have had incredible seasons getting to this point. All comes down to this for the NFC title and a trip to the Super Bowl on the line. San Francisco, you could definitely argue this team has been the top power in the NFC in recent time. This is their fourth appearance in the NFC Championship game in the past 5 years. They're taking on Detroit, a team that's been known for being the bottom feeder in the NFC. This is only their second appearance ever, and this team has never been to the Super Bowl. Just an incredible storyline of a team that's been, you could say, the top power in the conference against what you could say has been the worst in Detroit. The Lions, the story of this team, the turnaround, just incredible to see this season. So with that, we'll be covering a full game preview and prediction on this matchup here today. Let's get started with your team trend. San Francisco beat the Packers 24-21 in the divisional round. Really great win there for the 49ers, but that was far from this team's best performance this season. That's really a game that honestly they could have lost. But this is still a team that I would say in comparison to Detroit does have a higher ceiling. I feel like their defense is all around much better than Detroit's, but I feel like the Lions as well, they kind of almost have destiny on their side, it feels like, just based on the way things have gone down the stretch this season, especially in the playoffs so far. It just feels like the Lions are the team of destiny here, despite the 49ers maybe being the better one. But for the Lions to beat Tampa 31-23, really solid win, and obviously beat the Rams the week before that in the wild card. Games be on Sunday the 20th in Santa Clara. Kickoff is 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Spread's going 49ers by 7 here, so it is kind of, I would say, heavy on San Fran's side, considering where Detroit has been in these playoffs so far and how they've played. I mean, this is a strong team that's obviously really well coached. I mean, that's a huge reason why this team is even in this position. I mean, Detroit is one game away from the Super Bowl. Just insane to think about. But over under 51.5. FPI is going San Fran 74%. You look at the playoff run. Obviously, for the Niners, had the first round bye, so took on the Packers in the divisional, beat them by 3. And then for Detroit, beat the Rams by 1, beat Tampa by 8. Stat comparison, San Fran is third in points per game, third in points allowed. Once again, a really complete team here in San Fran. You could say the main weakness is the pass defense, 14th in the league this season, and going up against Jared Goff and this Detroit offense that is second in the league in passers game this season. But for Detroit, main weakness is the pass defense, going up against Brock Purdy and this San Francisco passing game. That's been a big strength this season, not so much later on in this year. Brock Purdy obviously had that bad game against Baltimore and really wasn't even that good against the Packers. So we have seen him be a little bit inconsistent here down the stretch, but I feel like for Detroit here, being 27th in pass defense could be a reason of concern if you're not able to stop Brock Purdy and he has a solid game. Their key points, 49ers 13-5. This is arguably the most complete team in the NFL. When you got McCaffrey, who's obviously been incredible this season. He's the best running back in the league by far. Brandon Ayuk, who's really come around. It's Deebo Samuel is questionable. We'll see if he can play for this game. That would be obviously huge if he can. But it's really the defense as well for the 49ers. This defense has as many big names as anybody in the league. Baltimore is really second to them, I would say, all around. But for 49ers, they've really got, I would say, the highest ceiling of any of the teams remaining. It's just about can they click here in this game and possibly even in the Super Bowl to win it all. But you look at the success of this team as well. This is their fourth NFC Championship game appearance in the past 5 seasons. They are 1-2 in their previous 3 appearances. Obviously, a few years ago when they advanced on to the Super Bowl and lost to the Chiefs. But this is a team that's been so close to winning a Super Bowl. I feel like it's definitely bound to happen at some point. You would think it could definitely be this season. And this is a team that's very complete in order and definitely could do so. But for Detroit, Jared Goff in this offense has been relentless. I feel like, Jared Goff is finally getting some noise now. But he really deserved a lot more attention during the season. He's thrown for 4,600 yards this season, 30 touchdowns, over 12 picks. He's thrown 12 interceptions, but he's overall been incredible, especially when it really matters. You can't forget about St. Brown, who's been incredible as well. So, this offense has been relentless. You got, obviously, the 1-2 punch of Montgomery and Gibbs in the backfield. So, you look at the defense, so that's once again the main concern. I feel like this offense really I mean, you're going up against a brutal San Francisco defense, but I mean, the Packers had their way. I feel like Detroit can as well. And really, I mean, once again, the defense is the main concern, and really for Detroit, second NFC Championship game appearance ever. That's insane to compare these two teams. San Francisco, who's in their 19th overall. This is their 19th appearance, most in the league, taking on a team who is in their second, and obviously the lost back in 1991. That was the last time this team was even in this position. But for the 49ers to be one game away from the Super Bowl, really no surprise. I mean, it feels like a surprise, though, for Detroit, even despite having higher expectations heading into this season, just because of the Lions and how little success they have had as a franchise. But with that, let's get a prediction here for the 49ers and the Lions coming up here in the NFC Championship game. In the end, this is bound to be an incredible game. Just the storylines around it alone. I mean, this is going to be a close one for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if he was higher scoring as well. But I think Detroit goes into San Francisco and pulls off a huge upset. They win at 31-27. But honestly, I feel like if Detroit wins this matchup, it might not even be that big of a surprise, given the way this team has played in the playoffs so far, and also, I mean, just the storylines of this team. I mean, they're a 7-point underdog. This team plays well as an underdog as well. That's something you got to look for. So I think Detroit's going to find a way to win this game, and they're going to advance to the Super Bowl this season. I've got Lions winning the NFC, and I'll tag my preview for the AFC in this video as well if you want to go check that out. But I think Lions find a way. This has been an incredible season for them, and they finally win the NFC for the first time. But I'm going to say 51% towards the Lions. It's really going to be a close one. Could definitely go either way. Taking the over as well. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a higher scoring game. Don't think it'll be quite a shootout. But I do think we see a lot of points scored here in Detroit to cover the spread in the end. But with that, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this matchup, score predictions, all of that. I appreciate you guys all watching as always. My name's Evan. This is All Sports Central. Stay tuned for more. We'll catch you on the next one.